Well, we're back again, folks. Another cracking weekend to look forward to this weekend, eh, lads?
Indeed.
Cheltenham Trails weekend.
Absolutely.
Obviously, got racing from Donny and Ireland as well, Fairyhouse.
Yeah, some good racing over in Ireland, isn't there,
Absolutely.
as well? Doncaster, I believe, Shishkin's.
Well, yes, yeah, I saw
the
that.
The plan is, so I think, so that'll be interesting. Well, it won't be interesting. It should be.
Sprinter Sacra Mark II.
Yeah,
it should be a procession in that race for him.
It
but
should
yeah,
be in
no.
theory, looking at that. But
yeah,
you never
good
know.
racing.
You know, racing throws up some curveballs, doesn't it, lads? So you never know.
Indeed.
Right, so folks, basically this is going to be our sort of last proper filming before we start concentrating on our Cheltenham previews. We'll be looking to do you a preview of each day. We'll pick out obviously the races of the day, and then rather than what we do normally where we sort of pick a race and then pick a favourite, what we're going to do, just going to give you more of a general overview of the day's festivals racing, and then we'll spread them out and release them over the coming weeks, as you know, as and when we can get ready and get them up to have a look, and they'll all be up hopefully with any luck by about a couple of weeks before the festival, at least a week. So that's the plan there, lads.
Indeed, that's the plan.
Okay, all right. Well, let's just rewind then a bit. Let's look at Cheltenham Trials. We were there the other year, Jamie, weren't we?
Yeah, that was a great day. Great day.
It was bloody cold, but it was a great day, definitely.
It was.
Yeah.
We had to wrap up about 2 jumpers and a scarf.
That's the one, yeah. Yeah. Right, okay, all right. Well, we've already started chatting in, Jamie. So go on, you can kick us off this weekend. Who you caught your eye on the weekend?
Well, I've had a very quick look, and I've had a look on the 225 on the Cotswold Chase Grade 2. 3 miles, 1 furlong, and the very important 56 yards, because it's going to be testing, war of attrition style. There's roughly a small field, and I've gone for an each way, if it is a reasonable price, for Bristol Demai, if he's going to be running. Trained by Nigel Tristan Davis and ridden by Daryl Jacob. Now, he won really well at Haydock in them desperate conditions, and also at Haydock as well, because we all know Haydock in always sort of soft and heavy in these national races. But I reckon that he'll be winning the conditions again at Cheltenham. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be bad weather again this weekend, so it'll be soft conditions, so that will suit him. And also, he's run there before. He's run at there at the Gold Cup. I think that's another prep run for him for the Gold Cup. But I looked at also in the field and the main dangers, and I think the conditional trained by David Bridgewater, that could be by Tom Scudamore. Now, he could be quite be a throw the spanner in the works, as they say, because he likes a bit of soft conditions, and he's won over there as well in the Cheltenham meeting in March. But also you got Lakeview Lad. Now that could be a prep run for the Grand National, so it won't be for the Gold Cup.
The Trevor Hemmings colours.
Yeah, the old Trevor Hemmings. But my selection is Bristol Demai on the 225.
Okay.
And then we'll go on the next race, which will be on the 3 o'clock. The Ballymore Novice Hurdle, 2 miles, 4 furlongs. Now I've just gone for a quick, a very each way selection. I think that would be quite bigger price than Bristol Demai. Is Optimus Prime, trained by Ben Pauling. I had a quick look at his form. He's had 2 wins on soft conditions at Hereford. Won really well from that.
Yeah, I thought he had a couple of wins. I didn't know
definitely. Yeah, he's had 1 bumper run and 2 wins at the same track at Hereford. I think he should like the conditions, as in the course, the undulations and everything, because I think Hereford is sort of the same, slightly sort of conditions as Cheltenham in my mind. He jumps really well, and I'm hoping that he'll have a reasonable jockey. I think it's called Luca Morgan or something like that. He takes a £5 claim if he does ride him. I think most people have named him wrong, but yeah, it's trained by Ben Pauling, and that's my each way selection, Optimus Prime.
Fair enough. Okay, all right. Well, I'll just jump in next. I've gone for a couple. I've split locations for me. I'm starting with the 12:40 at Cheltenham, the JCB Triumph Juvenile Hurdle Trial. 2 mile and 179 yards. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you might remember, lads, I picked Quilixalox or Quilixilo, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he didn't run that day. Obviously, non-runner for me that day due to the COVID restrictions. Now, in that same race was Adagio and Nasalam for Gary Moore.
The Gary Moore horse that was
it.
primed to be,
Yeah. Now, the way Adagio won, I can't oppose it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It just seemed to have way more in the tank than the others did. All right. I mean, it only beat David Pipe's runner. Gary Moore's runner by only sort of about 2.5 lengths, but he still was winning quite easily. It wasn't, it wasn't hard work. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm going to go for Adagio. I just, Jamie, it's got that one, the one you like, that Heros de Sul.
Oh, it was the non-runner, wasn't it, last week?
Yeah, non-runner last time. So, another good one in there. So, you never know. There's some other good runners in there with some decent bits of form. So, it's open again. But I say, just given on that last performance, I can't really oppose it, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But nobody's booked yet to ride. But we'll see.
But still a good shout if that's what goes ahead, isn't it? Like you say, after what that horse put up against that Gary Moore horse, and everyone thought he's got another beast on his, another Goshen type route.
Exactly. A lot of people thought about it, and it done the job. So that's my first choice, and then my second choice, I'm going over to Donny actually in the 240. It's the Albert Bartlett River Don Novice Hurdle Grade 2. I'm actually going to pick an horse that I have picked before. I'm going back and having another stab at Ask a Honeybee.
Yeah.
Fergal O'Brien. It's not won in its last 3, but it has had 2 seconds and a third. So apart from winning, what else can you do?
Yeah.
What more can you do?
Yeah.
Paddy Brennan's booked again, so your safe pair of hands there again. It's beaten Ashtown Lad before, albeit not by a great deal. Bob Hope or no Hope's in it. He's beaten that one before. So I'm just sort of basing it on expecting another very good account of itself. Hopefully, get his head back in front, get back to winning ways. Hopefully, maybe they might have tweaked a couple of little bits, or maybe changed tactics slightly. Maybe might be able to pounce a bit later, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, given look at the form, first, second, third, can't really sort of say it's a wild stab. Do you know what I mean?
No, didn't that finish second at Cheltenham not so long ago, like at the beginning of the year or something? It just seemed like, and literally only just come second by a head, but just seemed like he just sat too far off the pace for too long.
Yeah.
So that, like you say, in that respect, it could have been more of a not a tactical error, but just not giving the go ahead too soon.
Yeah, like just a training tweak sort of thing. Just something to do a bit different. So, that's going to be my second choice. Like I say, pick I've done before, but I just think looking at that form. Worth another stab. Looks a winnable race again for a few of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it has had a few in behind. So
also, Glenn, that the trainer's in form, and also he's getting quite a lot of a lot of recommendation. He's getting a lot of seen to on Saturdays, and his horses are doing really well at the moment with Fergal O'Brien.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
And he's great on the Twitter scene as well and TikTok.
Oh yeah, they got a cracking Twitter account, to be fair.
Whoever runs their social media is
they're one of the funniest ones out there, to be fair to them, aren't they? So okay, well that's my 2 choices then. We'll save you for last, Sean. Go on then, Mark. Who do you like?
Well, I'm not splitting it. I'm sticking with 2 choices at Cheltenham. I'm going in the 115. The time form novices handicap chase, 2 miles, 4 furlongs, and Jamie Brownlow's important 127 yards.
Well done,
and
Mark.
As you just reiterated about trainers in form, I'm going for a Kim Bailey horse, Aspire de Romay. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Lightly run horse so far. It's only had 7 runs. And you were talking about, Jamie, you reiterated about Haydock being, very testing conditions.
Yeah.
It can be. And it's out back in December when it finished the creditable second. Mind you, it was only a 4-run field to lose to the winner, Royal Pagal. Everyone knows about that horse. It's potentially set to be 2 pounds dropped in weight for this race, and it's got big experience in handicaps. So I think that's really going to play a part in this race. I'll say it's having a fine season so far. Testing conditions will be at Cheltenham, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. So that's just a little bit on my first selection. But my second selection, I'm going up against Jamie.
Yay!
I'm going in the 3 o'clock at Cheltenham, and I'm going for a horse called Bear Gills, trained by Nicky Martin and jockey Matt Griffiths. Unbeaten over hurdles so far, all on soft conditions, and this is a real race where it can boost its credentials for the Ballymore novices at the festival in March. Trainer Nicky Martin stipulated that its last win at Exeter was the fastest ground that it ran on when it beat Stormy Flight easily by 5 lengths in its last run. But it is going to be its biggest test. Jumping isn't perfect at times, but if it can get that right on grounds which I think it will relish, then I think it's a great opportunity to get its first win at Cheltenham. So they're my 2 main selections, but just a little quick Brucey bonus. And I'm going to wait and see how big Sean's face is when I say this, but my Brucey bonus is the old boy, Native River. Look, I've had a look at. I was going to stay away from this race because Bristol de May, the conditional. Trying to think of some
Santini.
Yeah, Santini. Which
if he does go,
he's always there or thereabouts. One I was actually looking at was St Calvados, who I was actually very impressed with finishing 4th in the King George. But look, what's not to love about Native River?
Yeah,
he loves running around Cheltenham. He's given us some exciting rides before, and as we stipulated before, it's not quite clicked for Colin Tizard yet. But I think this is a key race. Is it going to be just a warm-up prep race? To potentially go on to the festival in a couple of months' time? Not sure. But Native River as a little each-way selection for me. I think it'd be good to see him out there, see how he relishes the grounds, running around Cheltenham again. I see Sean's.
You're right, though. It could be the ticket just to, like the touch paper.
Yeah.
Is that Native River's first or second run, or is that his first run?
It'll be his second run.
Second run.
He ran in the Many Clouds at Aintree.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is, obviously, I don't know if you've seen the article that Colin Tizard saying that he had a massive bug in not a massive bug. Sorry, he had a bug or virus in his stable, and he had to be deep cleaned and all that. And it's been taking for a while, but let's hope we can see a bit of a Colin Tizard. A bit of a bit of
good fortune,
yeah. I don't think Santini would be running at Cheltenham. I had a little listen on a podcast, and Nicky Henderson mentioned it didn't seem that he wasn't very confident enough to have Santini running in the Cotswolds, and I don't think he'll be running at Doncaster either. But we'll have to soon and find out where he runs.
Okay, fair enough.
Be an exciting race either way. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh yeah. Got to be happy about it, ain't you? So.
I hope I've made your evening, Sean.
He'll be in floods of tears in a minute.
Oh
yeah.
Right, okay. Well, obviously that leads us nicely on then, Sean. Go on then. You've got the honours of wrapping up today, mate.
Indeed. Well, this week I know exactly who trains the horses. This time round with the confusion last week, the silks threw me right off, but I wasn't wrong. So that's the main thing. No, my first one, the 150 at Cheltenham. I'm sticking at Cheltenham with my 2. I'm going Caribbean Boy for Nicky Henderson.
Oh, okay, yeah. I looked at that, to be fair.
Now, 3rd of 3 last time out, obviously wasn't overly impressive, but the form has been frank now with Dash and Brusher winning last weekend.
Yeah.
And in that 3-runner race, yes, Caribbean Boy come 3rd. It was a lot down to his jumping, but second in that was Itchy Feet. So they weren't the worst 3-horse race in the world.
No. Yeah. It's worse. We've seen worse. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a French export that we know Henderson loves, and has only had 3 runs over here. One of those as well at Haydock like we discussed just a minute ago, that heavy growing and going at Haydock can be really difficult, which he won and won well. If the ground's heavy again, it is his first time at Cheltenham. So again, with these horses, you'd never know. We've said this before, Glenn, like when you first got into it, the lead up to Cheltenham, you can watch these horses win week in, week out. They have their first run at Cheltenham and they come 12th. I'm not saying that it's a horse that will relish the course because it is very much an unknown. I feel with the heavy going and the horse's capabilities in heavy, Henderson must have a little bit of confidence. In what looks like and it does look like a very competitive race. Just there was a couple in there that caught my eye. You got Sapage, obviously for Venetia Williams, Our Dancer, Old Grangewood, who's caught some distance. I'm looking at the card now. I can see the card. It is a tough. It's a tough one with Cheltenham in there in the past. Mr. Whitaker and things like that. So it's an unknown, but I feel it's an unknown that could be worth a risk if he bounces back from the third.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I'll see just the Bet365 price there. I'm looking at it right now.
5, isn't it?
Yeah, 5 to 1 at the moment. And I looked at that. I thought, do you know what? That's not a bad shout at all. I almost picked it as one of mine.
Yeah, I just feel out of that field, it's the horse that will probably show more improvement or has got more to offer than some of the others.
Yeah, I think if you look at some of the others, you'd almost say they're at their level.
Yes, the likes of Our Dancer. Sapage, Midnight Shadow, Old Grangewood, they're kind of
you sort of look at that. I think you can kind of see that there's possibly more to come.
Yeah, I feel a good run.
Yeah.
Depending on how the horse handles the course, obviously we know what it's like. It's going to be a tough one, but 2 mile 4, I feel is more than capable of as long as the jumping stands and obviously handles the course.
Well, looking at that, he's also the youngest in the race as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There feels like it's only his full front over here since
there's more time to develop.
More time to develop for a horse that has got capabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, mate. Second one.
And my second one, listening to the way Mark described in there, and Glenn, you know how I feel about Native River. It's up there for many clouds and things like the Tiger Roll. It's a horse that just puts a smile on my face. Jumps them into submission if his jumping is right on the day. He attacks every fence and it puts so many horses under pressure. He wins races almost a lap to go because he's jumping. So he can be so aggressive.
He's poetry in motion at times.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And yes, okay, the last race was the Mini Clouds race. I've come third, but they did miss out 3 on the home straight. And that is a long home straight when you're missing 3. From the point that Mini Clouds got taken from Santini, actually, surprisingly enough, got the better of him first before Lakeview Lad got in there. At the point where those horses started reining him in was when the jumping had finished. He wasn't beaten because he wasn't good enough or he was missing. He was beaten because there was one hell of a long running without fences for a horse that needs fences. In my opinion, it was one of those. I'm not saying that, like Jamie alluded to, there's a chance, and I heard that as well, that Santini probably will avoid this weekend completely, which will leave Bristol de Mai probably a clear favourite. Now, I've been waiting for years for Bristol de Mai to start slowly declining, not because I want to, but I just feel that he's running such difficult races that you got to get to a point where, he's had his day, keeps bouncing back. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, he's run at the top for Christ, as long as I've been in the sport.
Yeah, he's like a cue card. He keeps going and keeps going for these bigger races and keeps winning them. There's nothing you can say to discredit Bristol de Mai at all. I just feel at Cheltenham, or like Mark said, and to see Native River again go up that hill.
Full flow,
would be phenomenal. Again, you've got the young pretenders in there. St. Calvados, the conditional. Lakeview Lad's going to have another stab. York Hill, who proved that age is nothing but a number in this.
That's true.
This sort of game. So there's that mix of the young and the old. For me, I wouldn't say it's. If Santini doesn't go, I don't feel it's the most competitive.
It takes tracks a bit. Not
that it's discrediting the field, but because you have got a couple of older horses in there and a few young unknowns, there's none of that happy ground. Your 8-9-year-olds that are thriving. In that respect, that's all I mean by it. It's not a discredit to the younger horses or the older horses. It's just there's a big contrast. So it could either be won by an old head or the young legs. So for me, I'm going native.
You know, you might say it's just kind of sort of slightly diluting the quality, if you know what I mean.
And that's not discrediting it. There are some fantastic
exactly.
horses in there, and loads that will show a lot more ability and come on next year when the likes of Native and Bristol probably might not be there. We don't know. But for me, Native,
Massive question. There's been a lot of talk of Native River potentially diverting past the Gold Cup
and going to the best Aintree
to head for the Grand National. For you, as a massive fan of Native River, like all four of us sitting here and many people who support him, is that something that you would like to see?
More than anything. I think it's a horse that's capable. It would be an ask, but if you're talking from a fan's point of view, and it would be heart over head more than anything. I mean, you're all fully aware of my love for both Many Clouds and Native River. Now, my love for Many Clouds and Tiger Roll, Now, my love for those two horses won before either of them won a Grand National. The fact that they both went on to win Grand Nationals, just for me, it eclipses everything that I know about the sport. For Native River to do that, and I get another one of those, would be, I don't have any real affiliation shares and stuff like that, but you know, when you just feel for a horse. If I could get a third one of those, it would make it would make 2021. It would be brilliant. Whether he would or not, I don't know.
Sure. The only thing is that, sorry, Mark, just that he can cope with the long distance at Chepstow. I don't see why he can cope with the long distance at Aintree, but with the Aintree fence is a little bit different.
Like perfectly put, Jamie. The distance would never be an issue for that horse because he's gone up 3.5 mile at Cheltenham, which you could almost argue is 4 mile. With the incline, we've all seen that hill. The distance wouldn't be a problem, but the fences are. We know they're a different kettle of fish. It's flat out a different ball game. I would love it. I wouldn't be sad if he didn't go there because obviously he's safe then. Let's be honest. But it would be a dream.
Sorry, Sean. And just last one. Would you say that, and possibly are you saying that because you look at the potential lineup for the Gold Cup this year, and it is shaping up really nicely. I think it's going to be one of the strongest, exciting Gold Cups I think we're going to have for many years. Like, don't get me wrong, the last few Gold Cups have been amazing, but like, are you sort of saying that because you're looking at the lineup and you think that, you know, of its chances in the Gold Cup? When you
I think with a horse like Native River, the problem that I would find for him is that too large a field could be a massive hindrance because he's such a solid jumper. It wouldn't be him that I would be concerned about. It's the horses that suffer those falls and what goes on around you in a 40-horse race. You have no power over the other 39. You don't know what's going on with those. So I would look at it as, yes, he's capable. Yes, can do the distance. Ground probably wouldn't be too much of an issue. Would be a bit firmer than I'd like at that time of year. The fences would be a question mark, but my concern is for a horse that needs to lead because he jumps so well when he's got that open field to look at. Having 39 other horses and jockeys around, he would have been my concern. It's everything that happens in a Grand National. We've seen what happens. So it would be that element that would make me a little bit every fence kind of over. You know what I mean? Like a pillar over the face, because I don't know what they're doing. So but Native River and Caribbean Boy for me.
Okay, fair enough. All right, lads. Well, that's a couple of selections each. Like I say, brilliant racing to look forward to. Very hard to pick any out, as we've just done. But I struggled to find a couple. I could have found about another 7 or 8 probably, to be honest, this weekend. But there we go, folks. That's a couple of selections from us for this weekend, for Cheltenham Trails weekend, ahead of the Cheltenham filming. Can't wait to get that underway, boys. Well, looking forward to that. Bit of a shame we can't do it all together like we have done in the past, but never mind. We do all we got to do. And then, as Mark pointed out a little bit earlier on, keep an eye out on Twitter and stuff, because we're still trying to chuck out a few tweets here and there, maybe a little selection video in between now and obviously the festival, because there's still, as you say, Mark, some plenty of other good racing coming up. So we'll get that done as well, and we'll see you for our first Cheltenham video next then.
Indeed.
Plenty of studying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good luck this weekend, boys.
See you later, gents. Have a good evening.
Bye.